Recording progress.
Hello, welcome to my MyWebUniversity free educational videos. Basically, I'm right now showing you some of the videos that I have posted at my MyWebUniversity free educational videos YouTube channel. And the last one that I posted about 2 days ago is this one, says Learn Linux Operating System, Advanced Level Chapter 4, Part 7. So there are 8 parts, and I'm done up to Part 7. So you're welcome to watch this video. It is a very advanced level, and it's going to tell you basically about Linux operating system commands on Chapter 4, Part 7. So once you're watching this video, you're going to just watch our channel, and when you're done with it, I'm just going to mute it, and so that way you can just see exactly what is this channel about. And then at the end of this channel, if you go all the way to the end, you're welcome to watch the video, obviously, and then at the end you will get this subscription, and that and watching further videos. So if you watch to the end of it, you have a subscription showing up, and then you just subscribe. Basically, after this, love and peace to all. This was the coverage of that Chapter 7, and you should get at the end of it, like right here sometime soon. Right there, then you can subscribe at my MyWebUniversity channel, and then watch the rest of it, basically. And then subscribe to our channel so you can see all our videos. That would be nice. I really appreciate it. So this is what you should see, and when you click on this for subscribe, you're going to be subscribing to our channel. Thanks for your subscription, and thanks for watching the YouTube channel. So now I'm going to go to the session for today, which I already prepared. So this was Chapter 4, Part 7, and as you can see, there's this one is also posted on mywebuniversity.com from Chapter 4, Part 1 through Part 7. All of these videos, when you click on it, you actually are going to be transferred to YouTube channel, which is a secure page, and then you will see the video that I just showed you. And then there are Part 1 through Part 7. Part 8 would be the last one for this chapter, and this was what we had discussed so far. This is Part 1, and this one would be Part 2. 11 of these commands in one row is one part. So this was Part 7, Chapter 4, Part 7, that we just played it, and we went to the end to show you the subscription. This one would be covered sometime this weekend. When I'm off again, I'll post that one. But for today, I'm going to cover installing Visual Studio Code on both Microsoft Windows 10 as well as Ubuntu 22.04. So I'm going to install Visual Studio Code Editor for both Windows operating system and Mac. As you can see on the documentation of Visual Studio Code, it says that it runs on 3 platforms: Windows, Linux, Mac, there. And then this is a source code that is available for free. It's open source code, and you don't have to pay for it. And then this is an opposed to Visual Studio is not fully fledged IDE. The Visual Studio, which is a Microsoft Visual Studio IDE, is fully fledged. It has support for IntelliSense, it has for code completion, everything that you're needing to do for including the forms editorials and Windows IDEs, Windows APIs, everything that you want to do, .NET stuff. You can do anything with the full fledged Visual Studio. But that one is a paid subscription. You have to buy it. And then also it's not free, and it is huge. It is slower than Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code is lightweight, so you can get this Visual Studio Code for free, and then you can run it on 3 platforms. So I'm going to get it first from code.visualstudiocode.com on this URL. If you type in Google Visual Studio Code, this URL shows up. Now I click on the download page under the same code.visualstudio.com. As you can see, the URL that we clicked on it, it is the same with HTTPS secure version. And this is the environment for Visual Studio Code, telling you that you have like a very nice interface. And then you have these modules or extension that you can enable for C++, for G++, for Python, for GitLand, for a lot of the programming languages, C# and everything else that you needed. And then by default, HTML and text and CSS and everything else is supported under that one. And then you can also use this Git stuff that you have this arrow. And then this one is for IntelliJ code or IDEs for environment. I'll look into this one later. I don't remember the actual icon, but this is the file manager to open files, and there are settings that you can go and edit. Right now, we're just going to click on download page to download the software, and it's going to provide us 3 platforms: Windows, Debian, and Mac. So Linux is the Debian. They have both a Debian version as well as a Red Hat Package Manager, which is good for Red Hat, Fedora, and SUSE. And Debian is the one that I'm going to install it using a snap on Debian Ubuntu version. So the Windows 10, we have this one. I'm going to download the 64-bit. So if I open a command prompt here and clear my screen and then type in, say, let me go to the main directory here, clear screen, and then say system info, 5 more, you can see that basically I have a Windows 10 system 64-bit processor right here. So the processor is 64-bit, 3.1 gigahertz. Previously, we looked at it. Now I'm going to download the 64-bit here. When you click on the download page, automatically this file comes in, and then right here, it will just have the file being downloaded on my download directory. So once that one is done, then I can use that one to install it. So you can see it is very fast. It was only 81 kind of kilobyte or something. So it is done. And then now I can go here on the file manager and then just go to downloads directory. And then click on the downloads directory. And then this one is Visual Studio Code, and you can see 151 kilobyte. So it is pretty small, but it is very lightweight, as I mentioned, and it has a lot of functionality. So you double click on the executable, and it's gonna install the Visual Studio Code once you accept the license agreement. So right here, you can browse through the license agreement, and you just say, yeah, I like it and I accept it because it's open source and they provide you for free. This is the default directory that is getting installed. Unless you have another reason to install it somewhere else, you can just use the default one. So it's getting installed under user ID of myself, Wahid, and then app data. And then local programs, Microsoft Visual Studio Code. And I'm gonna say that's fine. It says that do not create a start menu folder. I wanna create a start menu folder. So select the start menu folder, and it's gonna be Visual Studio Code, that's fine. And then these options that you have, it says create a desktop icon. Yeah, I like to have an icon for it, so it's easy use rather than type in here studio or a code or Visual Studio Code. So then open code action to Windows Explorer and the context menu. I'm going to check that one. add open code action, Windows Explorer directory context menu. I'm going to check that one too. And the other ones are already checked and I'm going to accept it. The last one is very important, add path to requirement shell restart. So from command line, when you type in code, if the path is of the Visual Studio Code /app data, that one that I was having it, Wahid C : user, that path was added to that, then you can run it from command line. Otherwise, you have to add it yourself on the control panel and then make sure that it's available for you. So now it's going to give me the install option to just go ahead and install it. We just let the installation complete. While this one is doing it, it's not that slow, so I'm going to just let it run so we can see the interface a little bit better. And this is some of the code snippet and options that they show you. And then it has syntax checker, line highlighter, and then it has modules and extensions that you can do. You can see all the options here that are there for the overview of code. And this website is basically has documentation, updates, blogs, API extensions, frequently asked question, learn. So you can just any question you have, you're welcome to just consult it, or just go on the help of Visual Studio Code when it starts, and you will just see the entire thing. So now here, this dialog that is open, it just says completion of the Visual Studio Code wizard, and it tells us that it is done. So we're going to say launch Visual Studio Code. Yeah. If that is checked, automatically it will launch it for us. So we don't have to go and type in code or something. And then this one is going to start here. Obviously, some of the extension is all your choice of what programming language you want to just have the extension or modules installed for, whether you want to do C, C++, or some sort of Python, anything that you like, or those ones options are there. Here, the options of browse the color scheme. You have the light, and then you have dark, and then you have dark contrast, and all those options. I really like the dark ones. That is the default one. So I'm going to leave the default one, and that is good. And so this one is selected, and then we go to mark done. And then at this time, we're going to just look at Visual Studio Code. If I just click on the new file, it basically I can open a new file and then start editing. But remember, we were looking at this one, it says Explore. So you can go like a file manager inside Visual Studio Code, like Windows Explorer, and you can browse through your file managers. Here is the search, and then this one was source control for Git, the Git repository, which is GitHub. So it supports that one for a version control system. And this one was the run and debug. If you want to run and debug the code, you can run that one. And this is for extension or installing modules. So if I just click on the new file, open new file, and I call it demo1.py, just as a test to see how this thing works. So I'm going to click on this one, and then it says, okay, yeah, you want to start text file, and then this Jupyter notebook and everything. So I'm going to just say create new, and then I'm going to say demo1.py. Let's see what happened with that one. So it does not say anything in terms of, I'm going to say it's going to be a text file, and then I'm going to write the name here for this name. Select the language, open a different editor to get it started, don't show. So this is fine. So right here, I'm going to say, for example, something very simple, say import, let's say import the math module. And then I'm saying print help on the math module. And then actually also do print dir of math. So and then also do a print type of math, and then also do a print dir. So dir by default, when you're doing it without the import, you can do it, but then when you do dir import dir, it shows the mat module as well the other ones, and then we are looking inside the mat module, and then there the rest of them. We can also, for example, do something like this, say dir. That way we know that is the output of the dir, and then we can just put a new line character here, and then say dir, and then we put dir mat, and then put a new line character, and then followed by the comma, and then and do this one, type, and then let's say type, and then math, and then new line character followed by comma, and then that, and then the last one is and command is, you can use a single quote or a double quote, either one it would work. So I'm gonna try the same consistency with one, and that way we know that what we have done so far. So this is importing the mat. This one will print the dir and then a new line character, then it gives you that dir output. And for each one of them, it does this. I can also put a new line character before this one, because these ones I want to just differentiate it between the previous command on other ones. So you can do something like this, and then now let's save this one. We say save as demo1 or something, whatever we name it. So the extension, it's important where you want to save it as. If I just save it under, let's say I'm going to save it on a directory where I can keep track of it easily. So let me just save it under MyWebUniversity. I'm going to just make a directory here called Python. And then dash Visual Studio Code. Let's just call it that, so we know that it's from that file. And then we call import mat.py. No, I'm going to call it demo1 and dash mat.py. So something like that, demo1 underscore mat.py. Dash is not a good idea to just name the file with dash, even though it accepts it, but sometimes you better just have underscore. It's more portable. So we have this name. Now, if you see that it says that you want to install the extension for Python, I'm going to click on that one as well to just install it, because later on I will just need to compile it inside the Python. So right now I'm just going to use the Python interpreter because I have already installed it. And then when you have the extension enabled, then you have these other IntelliSense and syntax checking and compilation, runtime, everything is available for you. So you could do that one. But notice that this demo1.py program that is here, if I just go back on my command prompt here, and since I put it on MyWebUniversity.com, so I'm going to say cd to users, and then cd to Wahid, and then directory. I have a directory called MyWebUniversity.com, and I'm going to move this one here. Let me just a little bit size this one so you could see both windows on top of each other. And I'm going to just have it. So this is my code. And inside here, I'm going to go to mywebuniversity.com. And then the directory I call it was Python. So I'm going to say Python dash Visual Studio Code. And then I'm going to do a dir. Now notice that demo1.py is there. So I could say type demo1 underscore mat.py. It will show the content of that one. Now I'm going to run it, say, go ahead to run it as with Python 3, demo1 underscore mat.py. And then it will just run the code. And if there's no syntax checking or anything, it will run the command. So the dir, it just says this dir and then a new line, and it gives the output here. All the lines, including the one that we imported, the math module. Then the next one is dir slash dir of math. So this is a dir of math, and we'll just give you this information, and all of that one is right here installed. And then the next one is type math. When you do a type on math, it says that this is a module, a class module. And then the next one is help on it. So I press the next line, and then I get the help. And then as you can see, you read the math and arc cosine, arc cosine, hyperbolic, arc sine, and all those ones are here. Tangent and ceiling and combination, power, everything. All the functions that are there. Square root, factorial, floor, ceiling, is a number, is infinity, is finite. So I'm going to just accept that one, say, yeah, that is good. But notice if I quit here and type in Q for the rest, and I say, okay, Visual Studio Code, Windows, Firewall. So at this time, I'm just not worrying about the firewall of this one because I'm running it temporary, and I can add or remove things from the firewall if I want to. So this one, I was just telling you that to run the code is Python 3 here. So Python 3 is already installed on this machine. So if I say Python -- version, then it tells me that I have Python 3. So that means I can also run Python 3 here and just say Python 3 and then get inside interpreter. Now I have that function demo1. I demo1 underscore math. If I just import it, now my function is loaded and it runs all of this. Notice that this time if I do dir here inside, then demo1 is there. So then if I say type demo1 underscore math, then it tells me that this is a module that user defined. Well, he just wrote this one, and now he imported it, and now it's there. So if I do a dir of demo1 underscore math, you can see that all the functions and everything that I'm using inside that one, those ones are defined there. So if I was adding some variables or something, it is there. But that's another Python class. So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to exit out of this and then clear my screen here, and then just say that type demo1 underscore math.py is the same as the one that is here, is the same as inside this editor. But this editor, if you click on this one, you have the option, and then now you can do whatever you want. And then here, when you install the modules and everything, you should have the start debugging and then having the option of coding and everything else with it. At a later time, when I enable all those options, and then I will just start teaching you on Python with everything on details, one by one for everything. So at this time, just make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and then you can watch these ones as well as the future classes that I'm going to, just the courses that I'm going to post. But let's just now jump to the Linux Ubuntu version, which is a VM that I'm running here. As you can see under VirtualBox, I started this Linux Ubuntu 22.04, and it is currently running. So this is inside my host operating system, which is Windows 10, as you can see on the command line. Remember that if I just do this one, system info, and then find /i voice and name, it says Windows 10 operating system. So I'm running a Windows 10 operating system as a host, and my guest operating system in this case is the virtual machine, which I'm running here. And because I have 16 gig, I allocated 8 gig for the virtual machine, 8 gig for the Windows operating system, which is the host operating system. And because I'm recording it with Zoom and everything, so it is a little bit kind of rusty, not too slow or not too rusty, but it is sometimes you just have to cope with it because of the speed of the processor and the memory that's available there. So let me go back to the, sorry, not PyCharm. PyCharm, I'm going to close that one when it opens up, but this one for sure I need to show you. And then inside here, now I'm on Ubuntu, so it's waiting for me to just unlock the screen. So I'm going to just unlock the screen and type in my password. So this PyCharm that comes in, by accident, I clicked on it. The other day I installed it and I wanted to click on Ubuntu. I click on PyCharm. I'm going to close that one so I could have the resources available back to Ubuntu and Zoom and Windows and everything else. And then this Visual Studio Code that I installed it's successful. So I'm going to close this one and I'm going to say I'm done with it. Thank you so much for Visual Studio Code running successfully. And then that's open source. Now I have Visual Studio Code. So if I want to install something, compile something with C++ or C, I have a very nice editorial. The other day, I also installed Atom, but Atom is kind of like end of life on the December of this year. So you better have some other software. Usually I use Vim, VI Improve, and then or VI editorial to do on Unix sites. And on Windows, I could use Atom or Visual Studio Code or some other code editorial like IDEs like PyCharm or code blocks, anything. There's a lot of tools available to us as developers. So let's just go back and I'm gonna close the PyCharm. Let me just say close PyCharm. I don't need to open PyCharm here. Exit PyCharm, confirmed. So now PyCharm is confirmed. I'm going to just show you what my intention here is. I'm going to do this echo statement. I'm going to say, let's install Visual Studio Code editorial using snap. And then I pass in this argument of echo to this LOL cat command, which is a utility that puts you in a nice graphical interface or color thing. So it does say this one, let's install Visual Studio Code editorial using snap. And if I say what is a snap, snap basically, then laugh out loud cat. If I do that one, it is telling me that snap is a tool to interact with the snap. And the snap is a package manager in Ubuntu that is fully self-contained. Aside from the apt and apt-get, apt-cache, all those other packages that I showed on chapter 4, part 4, I believe it was, and then apt, apt-get, apt-cache, all of those ones are basically not self-contained, but it is just meeting your dependencies. So it has the etc app directory, and then the resources.list file has all the details. So there's a file on Ubuntu called etc apt, and then resources.list. This file basically, sorry, let me see, apt, etc apt, and then resources.list, sources.list.d, and then sorry, not resources, sources.list. So you look at this one as sources.list, sources.list, and that file has the repository for apt. So if I just do that one with bang $, meaning that show me the file, the content of that file is basically having this repository of apt. But when we are using snap, snap is from a snap repository, and then that one is from a snap store. It's actually self-contained. The whole package is self-contained. On this one, if there's any dependencies, app will just find the dependency. When you install Firefox for Snap, the whole Firefox is one self-contained package. You don't have to download any dependencies. The whole thing is one package. That's why it's bigger in size for Snap in comparison to apt. Apt is having smaller packages. It's much faster to download them. And because of this sources.list file, it knows what are the dependencies and how to get them. There's also the Debian package, DPKG. That one is Debian package that also has a self-contained. It is not meeting the dependencies, but apt is using DPKG to install software. So let's just now look for the Visual Studio Code using Snap. So if I clear my screen here, and then I'm going to run one more command here with the apt. This command figlet, I'm going to just say that use Snap to install code. So in this case, the software that I'm using is called Snap, but I'm installing code, right? So the installing code is the software that I want to install, but what I want to use is Snap. So how do I use Snap? And then I'm going to say Snap. First of all, if I say Snap list, and then I look for code, it is not there. And then it says no matching found. And if I say which code, it is not going to be found either. But at the same time, I'm going to say, if I do snap followed by -- help, it will tell me that you can use install, you can use remove, you can use find, you can do list, you can do all of these commands with list of commands available using Snap Package Manager. So I can do this install in this case, and this one for installing the Visual Studio Code, because when we listed, it wasn't there. But before I list it and install it, I'm going to do an info on code to see what is that package. So clear the screen, and I'm going to say snap, and then info, and then code. When you do that one, basically, it's going to show you that on the snapcraft.io, the /code, you can have this path. I'm going to go on the browser, and then I'm going to go to this one, and then go to snapcraft.io, https snapcraft.io/code. So this one will bring the code, Visual Studio Code information that say, yeah, you are welcome to just download the software, install it, and read the documentation. Similarly to the other ones, it has the option of install. And also Ubuntu has a software update that you can do it from the software update, installing these packages that are part of the code, for part of the Snap packages. So if it is under the snapcraft.io, and then it says that, yeah, it was there under this, then you can download it. So that means you can also use software update or use the command line snap install. And you can also do like find on this one to say find the package code to see what it is there. So now it is having a list of them. I'm gonna do a grep -i and then Visual Studio Code. So I could do something like this and then get the list of Visual Studio Code here and there. So if I do a snap snap info, so snap info and then Visual Studio Code, we're going to see that it is not there. But if I do snap the actual code name and the actual package name or snap name, it will just say this is what it is there that you have it. And then you see the code name is not a Visual Studio, it's code. That's why you get it. So if you want to get the PyCharm community, is PyCharm-community. If you want to get the Firefox, you get the same. Like for example, Snap Firefox, you will see that that one will give you the details of Firefox. Similarly, for Chromium, you just type in Chromium. And then let's just do that one, Chromium here, or Opera. So this is just to get this one. If you get a list of them, you can see browser, then all of those ones shows. Chromium for Chrome, the name is Chromium. And then PyCharm and -community, so you can get those. All of these ones are available as a snap packages. PyCharm -community. And the reason it's PyCharm -community is community is free, so that is why. And then you have these packages. If you type more, you read the first line says PyCharm community. They're all under snapcraft.io / the name of the package name. If it is code, it's code. If it's PyCharm community, is that, and Firefox is similar. So now we have done enough. We want to just install it. So in order to install it, if you type in sudo snap install and then code --classic. --classic is required, otherwise it doesn't find it or doesn't do it right. So that's an option. But here I'm going to type in the password, and then if I type in the password, it's going to work. I'm not going to type the password this time. Actually, I wanted to see that if you didn't do it without sudo, it's going to be smart enough, say that you need for this package snap to be installed with sudo. Then it's going to prompt you with dialog box. So now I see the dialog box say, okay, yeah, I can install my password. I can type in my password and it will just go install it. But if I had done the password in front of the sudo, the dialog would not come in, and it would start right here, mounted snapcode 102. It will just go through installation. And now you can see this is spinning. It shows the progress of how much is done and what is done. So now it says it's installed, how fast that was. Now if I say which snap, and then it is already there. And then if I type in file user bin snap, it says that this is part of a snap p or snap binary, right? So this is just saying it's actually not snap code. I'm gonna just look for code, and code is a symbolic link to snap. So this is user bin code, and let's say, sorry, which I should have done which code earlier. So that's what I meant, which code. And then it says that file snap, because it's a part of a snap package code. And then this one is just saying that the symbolic link to user bin snap. And then user bin snap, we already looked at it as executable link format, 64-bit, dynamic relink, all of that. So now we have done this one and we know that is there. In order to run it, we can do a snap run code, or we could just type in code. And then let's look at this file here. I have this hello.py file. And then if I look at cat -n hello.py, and then just showing you print hello word, I could just open up code and then say from this current directory, hello code, code dot, meaning that run the code editorial, and opens the current directory. So in the current directory, I can just say what files I want to run and everything. And then here, now hello.py is on the current directory. I double click on it, it opens up, and then I can just do it. Again, the extension and everything else, I can install packages and extensions as I need to. So if I just want to do in the GCC compilers, if I want to use this editorial inside, I will install these packages. But again, if I'm interested to just modify this one inside kind of a Vim, and that is much faster than opening code and waiting for it and then type in this thing and then making a little bit more adjustment. Yeah, I can just use Vim here. So now I'm there. I could just have this one and then say, if I want to modify it, I can just say, let's say print welcome to my web university free educational and videos. So if I just want to do that one, that's good enough, and then print it there. So let me just say save. And now this editorial, I can leave this one here, and notice that if I look at inside this one and say cat -n hello .py, before I had the hello word, now I have welcome to MyWebUniversity.com. So if I just want to do something with it to modify it, let's just do something here, say Vim for VI, and then say hello.py. And then we are going to open it inside Vim, Vim hello.py. Okay, Vim is not there, so I can install this. And then I can do vi hello.py just to make that change quickly, and then come in here under the print statement. Look how slow it is moving there. So I'm going to put a new line character here and then save it, and then go to line 1 in this case, and then add one more line here and say pound bang, that's called shebang, user ben env, and then I'm going to say run this code with Python 3, this one. So once I do this one and then I do WQ, shift WQ and quit it, now I have this one, and then now the file cat hello.py is basically hello.py, has the file name and the way I wanted to write it. And then now if I just say, I need to change the executable. Notice that the file is not executable. So the only way I can execute it is say Python 3 and then hello.py. But if I want to just run it like and executable like this, hello.py, and then it's going to say, well, you do not have the permission denied. So I go change mode 755 hello.py. Now hello.py, the permission changed. So if I look at the permission here, and instead of read write for the owner, it's read write execute, because the first 7, and then the second 55 is all of them have the X and read, no write access. So now I can type in hello .py, and it will just run the same command, because the first line head -1 of hello.py has the shebang user ben env. So if I say which env, it tells me that env is an environment that loads another binary code there, loads the environment, and which Python 3, and then it says that from moving the second line, you must find out code that are having the syntax of Python 3. If it was Python 2, then the second line would have to be Python 2 syntax. Similarly, if it was Bash script, this would be Bash. Or if this was Perl, it would be Perl. If this was some other language, you would just provide the name of Ruby or whatever. So coming back to this program, we compiled it and it is running, and then the code is right here. You can just go back to it. And if you just look at it, now the lines that we modified is already there. It's really nice. So, I mean, the rest of the packages, we can go here, install the packages of the Python and then other ones. So the modules, you can search for it in like Python I search whatever Python 3 and other modules, PEP3 and everything else is there. Obviously, I can use code here, or I can just go on the command line since I have a fully installed everything with the packages. I can do Python inside here, Python -- version, and you can see that it's there, Python -v. It is the same version, and if I go to Python 3, and that is there, and then if I go dir of that command is there. Now the name of the package was there, so if I forgot what was the name of that package, instead of getting out, I could say import OS, and then say OS and .system, and then I could run the system command ls-l star.py, and then just say show me all the star.py, and it says hello.py was the name. So now I could say, okay, great, import hello. And since before I did that, yeah, I did already the dir, so I'm going to import hello. So I could say import hello, and then that would just import it. Now I do a dir of that one, and then you see that everything is there, including the hello package. And dir of hello, for example, hello is going to show me if there's any kind of a string that is defined, any variables, anything. But that's a Python class that I have to show you in the Python class. This is just to show you inside this editorial. Again, the file extension that you are going to do inside the code, you can also do G++. So GCC and -- version, I have already installed it, and I can do the same thing, write the code and source code in Visual Studio, and then compile it here. And then the same thing with G++, -- version. So let me just show you on code. If I want to write a program on code rather than Vim, I could do it on Vim. And let me just install sudo apt install Vim. Now look how nice it is, how easy it is to install Visual VI improved. So Visual Interpreter, they call it, improved. So I remember earlier I was typing Vim and it says Vim is not installed, do you want to install it? And I said, no, I want to use the old one, VI is fine. So VI and Vim is good, but Vim has more features and more packages. It's like code, and that it has a lot of cool details. And on one of these days, I'm going to show you or teach you how to use VI and Vim to learn this one, because a lot of my programming is basically inside Vim or VI. I don't use code or Notepad or anything. I do use code IDE or code blocks on other ones, or Visual Studio Code, but mostly I'm using VI inside and the code because I want to open up multiple windows and work on different things. Visual Studio Code does not allow you to have multiple windows and multiple sessions, but Visual Studio does. So let me just now which Vim is there. Notice that Vim is there, and there's a lot of stuff on the Vim. I will show you there. We can do this. So let's say just we use Vim to open a G++ program. I'm gonna call it inside this one. I'm gonna call it let's say hello.c++. We could just make a simple hello programs. So let's just say pound, not pound, sorry. I'm going to do include. No, actually, this is C++. So pound include, and then IO stream. So the syntax, or sometimes if you haven't worked for it a little bit, you will forget it using namespace std. So I'm going to use the namespace standard, and then I say int main and then start the main. I'm not having any argument at this time. I'm going to say, so for example, cout, and then just write the word welcome to my, let's do my web university. Welcome to my web university. Free educational videos. So if we do that one and we just do a quote and then double quote, end of line. I did a double, not double, less than sign. Why is it not? Okay, I'm inside the editorial, so I could have used Visual Studio Code. So I wanted to use Vim, and the line here, and then here I'm going to say return, and then 0 for successful. So that program ends, and then we just terminate it. And then that would be the end of the program. So I'm going to do WQ for write and quit. Now we have ls-l hello.c++ is a C++ code. And if I do file on it, it says C++ source code. So now if I just say, let me clear the screen here, and then do the first command hello.c++, and then cat -n hello.c++, we can see the files in there. And then if I want to just see it in a nicer format, clear screen again, we could do file, and then this utility that I just installed to display it in a color, and then the same thing with the cat command, and then run it in the utility to display it in a nice color. So now it opens up, and then now we want to compile it. So because we had C++, this is the G++ is the compiler. So G++ dash uppercase V or version, it will, sorry, dash uppercase dash lowercase v will give you the version, or you could say dash version. The dash version will give you the version. Since I got the version that is there, 11.2, I'm going to compile that one, say G++ minus, let me clear the screen here, hello star. So I'm going to do hello here star, and then you can see that the files that are there, if I say file hello star, notice that one is .py, it says Python source code. The other one is .c++, it says C++ source code. But now I'm going to get an executable file from G++ by -04, sorry, G++ -0 for output, and I'm going to give it the name hello, and then the source code is hello.c++. So I'm saying that compile the hello.c++ and create an executable call it hello. So now if I do the ls-l again, this one is 3 files, and now hello is in executable format. And if I do a file on it, it says that hello is an executable format. That's why the permissions of the file is also executable. So now if I just say hello here, and then it will just say the message that I want to do. So if I just pass on that hello here, and then say, go ahead, pass it to that utility, the same way that other program works, it puts it in mind. Without it, it just write it in the format. That's the default. So welcome to MyWebUniversity freeeducation.com again. And thanks for watching the video, and thanks for listening to it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something from it. Please make comments so I can make improvement for your needs. Whatever you need, I'll just make that requirement my priority. and I hope you enjoy it. And please subscribe. At the end of the channel, for every channel, so you should have a subscription. Click on the subscription and then like the comments. That way we can just return the favor by giving you more videos that are in your needs. Have a nice one. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening. And again, welcome to MyWebUniversity.com. And thanks for your subscription. And I hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Good night.